Good morning. I want to thank the public information officers for the, look back at this past week events for the Birmingham City Council. This is the Birmingham City Council regular meeting here in the City Council chambers on the third floor on June 2nd, 2015. The official time of start of the meeting is 9:38 a.m. At this time, we'll have invocation from Dr. Geraldine Adams Daniels, pastor of Southside CME Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be done by yours truly, President Pro Tempore James J. Roberson, Jr. Please stand.
Let us pray. O most merciful God, we come to you this morning with gratitude in our hearts, thankful for another day that you have given us to serve you. We ask right now, Lord, that your presence be in this place, that you would endow these leaders with wisdom and guide them, O Lord God, to do your will in this place. Thank you for the blessings that you have given this city through its officers, the mayor, and its council. Continue to be with us and guide us, O Lord, as you would have us to go. Yes. This is the day that you have made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you, O Lord. It is in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. To the flag, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Geraldine Adams Daniels, for your prayer this morning. Mr. Clerk, we're ready for the roll call.
Council Member Abbott.
Present.
Council Member Hoyt.
Present.
Councilmember Lundy. Councilmember Parker. Morning, sir. Councilmember Rafferty.
Present.
Councilmember Scales.
Good morning.
Morning. Councilmember Tyson. President Austin. President Pro Tem Roberson.
Present. Minutes not ready for March 17, 2015 through May 28, 2015. We'll go ahead with the consideration of the consent agenda at this time, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, we do have some board vacancies too, if you want to.
Please go ahead and announce those.
Board vacancies, we have two with the, we have two different agencies, Solid Waste Authority and the Design Review Committee. With the Solid Waste Authority, we have Bishop William Clay and Ray Clark, both are 6-year terms that expire July the 12th, 2015, and that is under the Public Improvements Committee. Then we have the Design Review Committee. We have 3 vacancies, Don Cosper, William Roberson, Sheila Montgomery Mills. All terms expire 7/30/2015. They are 3-year terms, and they are under the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Thank you, Ms. Clerk, for those announcements of boards and agencies. Please govern yourselves accordingly. At this time, we'll go ahead and consider the consent agenda.
Okay, the consent agenda starts on page 2 with items 2. And we pick back up with the consent agenda on page 19 with items 3 and 4. On page 20, we have items 6, 7, and 8 on consent. What did we do with 5? I can't remember.
Item 5 is on consent.
Okay. I know we took it off at one time. Page 21, we have items 10, 11, and 12 on consent. Then on page 22, we have items 13, 14, 15, and 16 on consent.
Okay.
Page 23, we have items 17, 19, 20, and 21 on consent. Page 24, we have items 22 through 26 on consent. Page 25, we have items 27 through 31 on consent, with items 30 and 31 being added, with the addition on item 30 of adding the language on the third line after allowance for the Birmingham Intermodal Facility Phase 2 Bid Package 1. And then on item 31, after Alabama, it should be in the amount of $24,500. On page 26, we pick back up with the consent agenda, and we added items 32 and 34 to the consent.
Okay.
And then on the addendum, we added.
Wait.
Hold on, Ms. Clerk, we had an objection to you.
Okay.
Yeah, 32
32.
should not be on
Yeah,
consent.
32. Okay.
On the addendum, we added all the addendum items except 39. So we had 36, 37, and 38.
36, 37,
39 was on there.
Okay, that's fine, if you want.
item 39 we'll add to the consent agenda,
Thank you, sir.
and 38 was left off. Any council members, any more input on the,
Mr. President,
yes, Councilor Abbott?
on page 26, which items are on consent?
On page 26?
26.
Item 32 is off, is not on consent. Item 34 is on consent. That's the only one on page 26.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion for the consideration consent agenda? Do we have a motion?
Move the item.
Second.
That's Hoyt and Rafferty. Ready for the vote, Mr. Clerk?
1 second, please. Voting should be open. That vote should be up, Mr. Chair.
The consent agenda passes unanimously. If you had an item that was on the consent agenda that passes, has already been passed by the council, you can leave at this time. And if you had a public hearing that was on the consent agenda, it also passed, and you can leave at this time.
It was on consent. N11, N11, and 12.
All right. Thank you. This case is not a time to speak at this time. Thank you. I would like to go ahead at this time. We have communications, excuse me, communications from the mayor. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Mr. Pro Tem. Good morning, Council.
Morning.
For some time now, I'm sorry. I'll say good morning again now that the microphone is on. For some time now, we have been working on an exhibition of photographic items that have been documenting the history of two countries' struggle to reconcile itself in terms of racial equality. Out of those discussions and the work that has been done, the Freedom Exhibition has been developed. And it's entitled The Freedom Exhibition, Two Countries, One Struggle. This exhibition will open June the 5th, 2015 at the Abrams Engel Institute for Visual Arts. Here this morning to give us more information is Renee Kemp-Rotan, along with Dr. Ron Froelich and several others. Renee?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Council. It is with great pleasure that we address you all and also the citizens of Birmingham. This is Mr. Ron Froelich by my side. For those of you who do not know him, he has served as the chair of the World Games for 27 years, so now he is an emerita position. But he has been the right arm of what we call the Freedom Exhibition team that has consisted of Ron Froelich, Tracy Martin, who is the daughter of Spider Martin, and myself. For over a year now, we have been planning this extraordinary exhibition. It's the first time in history that 50 photographs of Spider Martins have been compared with 50 photographs of apartheid in South Africa. We're also very pleased that the host premiere is going to occur this coming week on Friday to the general public at UAB's Abrams Ingram Institute for Visual Arts, right across from the Alice Stevens Center. We are collectively collaborating with Willie Cole, unbelievable African-American sculptor and painter, and also the Jim Sokol Private Collection. It is these three exhibitions that will commemorate the 50th anniversary of Selma and the Voting Rights Act. I have invitations here that I will pass out. I'm hoping that each of the council members indeed will come and look at the information that is on the wall pictorially. We also are in the process of writing a book that will be the hardback exhibition catalog that will accompany. The exhibition is going to be on view from June 5th until August 8th, and the book will be here in time for the closing. We hope to get signed copies by Tracy Martin and also Dr. Mugabane. Dr. Mugabane is probably the most famous photographer and official photographer of the Mandela life. He has photographed Mandela from the time of Mandela's treason trials to the time that Mandela was actually elected as president of the Republic of South Africa. So it's extraordinary that we would have an opportunity to even see his photographs side by side with Sparta Martin, who of course is the famed photographer of Bloody Sunday, and all of the foot soldier activity that had to be organized as the people of Alabama and across the nation marched the 52 miles from Selma to Montgomery to demand the right to vote. So there are two countries that are going to be represented in their struggle for human and also civil rights. I'm going to turn the microphone over for a second to Ron Froelich, who has basically been just the armor behind this exhibition. Ron.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, and good morning, Council.
Good morning.
Morning.
I would like to say this, that bringing this exhibition not only to Birmingham, Alabama, but it'll hopefully later go on tour, it will also tour South Africa. Peter Mugabane will be here for the closing, regretfully, and right now he's not well, so he's not here for the opening, but will be here for the closing, which will coincide with the Voting Rights Act, the 50th anniversary. I'm hoping, and I want to first of all say thank you to the council and the mayor, because without their support, we could never have pulled this off. I think you're all going to be very impressed with what how the curator has put this show together. I went and had a preview of it on Friday. It's quite something, and it is, if I know what the South African pictures are, and I know what the US pictures are. Don't forget, I've lived here for 39 years already. So it was easy enough for me to say, but if any one of you walked in there without the captions, you wouldn't be able to identify the majority of them, which are South African and which are from Selma. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you, because without your help we couldn't have done it. I want to thank the council too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an awesome exhibition. Don't miss it. Thank you.
And Ron, let me share with the council, in I think it was 1993, I had the opportunity to meet Nelson Mandela in Atlanta when he came to the U.S. to thank all of the supporters that were here. And he made the statement at that time that one of the things that gave him hope while he was incarcerated at Robben Island was that if change could come to Birmingham and the American South, then change could come to South Africa. This exhibition chronicles the struggle that were separated by an ocean, but was united in spirit of freedom for all individuals. And as Ron indicated, it's difficult to tell which was shot where in terms of the events that were taking place and the abuse that was being inflicted upon individuals. So it's going to be an exciting exhibition. We encourage everyone to go out and be a part of it. I also want to say that we owe a deep sense of gratitude to Ron in his other capacity, as well as the other members of the International World Games Association, for selecting Birmingham as the site of the 2021 World Games right here in Birmingham. Initially, I thought that we were only going to have about maybe 20,000 people, 30,000 people, but it may be in excess of 100,000 people come here to this community, and it's all because of the selection process that was done by the IWGA, and we want to thank you publicly for allowing us to be the host for 2021. Thank you. Are there any questions? If not, thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council.
On Saturday, June 6, 2015, is the City of Birmingham's 18th Annual Family Fishing Rodeo. This is a free event that will take place at East Lake Park from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Here to give us more information is Stanley Robinson with the Park and Recreation. Stanley?
Good morning, Mayor. Thank you. And good morning, Council.
Good morning.
Pro Tem Jay Roberson. A belated happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
As Mayor Bell said, this is the 18th annual City of Birmingham Park and Recreation Family Fishing Rodeo. I really have to be honest, I really didn't think so long ago that we would be here today talking about this event, and especially that it would be such a much larger event than really the event that we started off with. But I think has really accomplished all that we want it to be for the City of Birmingham, and that is, that it says family. And I know we're going to put some 4,000 pounds of catfish in East Lake on Friday, but I have to caution that it's not about those 4,000 pounds of catfish. It's about people coming together out there and building community, and that's what we like to stress for that event. And towards that goal, we invite all of the city, and we do want to invite the council members to come out. I guess if you'll notice at your desk, I put out a little bag of magic bait catfish, though the official bait of the Family Fishing Rodeo. But we'd hope you all come out and challenge you all. I actually have rods and reels for you all that you can borrow that day and perhaps have a fish-off event to see who's the better angler. So I do invite you all out there for that event on Saturday. Now, as for the public, we're going to start things off. As I said, we'll stock the lake at 7 a.m. on Friday with some 4,000 pounds of catfish, and we'll look for the public to come on that Saturday morning at 7 a.m. A couple of things that we do, we have this card that you also have that on the back, it's really a thing that we use to award prizes throughout the day for kids. So they register and we draw prizes all day long, catching the biggest fish and things of that nature. It's the largest community fishing event in the state. It's been so for many years, and in the Southeast, you just don't see events like this taking place, and you don't see the support from local corporations, the support from city government, the mayor's office, from council, the support from the neighborhood associations. And with all of these organizations and groups coming together, I doubt if this would have been so successful for so many years. And so we're very appreciative of all of you all for that. And in that saying, in closing, that it's Saturday, 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. It's a free event. It's at East Lake Park. There will be a lot of giveaways. We're going to stock the lake again. And it's an event for the entire family. And if you need any information other than what I've shared with you, just call 254-2391. That's the main number for Birmingham Park and Recreation.
Thank you, Stanley.
Mr. Mayor?
Any questions?
Yes. I want to thank Mr. Robinson for coming forth with the presentation. This is truly the annual event that's very exciting, and the Family Fishing Rodeo. And thank you for providing breakfast with the catfish bait to us this morning. And I was going to ask some of my council members to open this up now, but Councilor Abbott said
I don't think
it would send a smell throughout the chamber. So we'll hold off until Saturday. How's that sound?
Good.
All right,
Hope to see you all there.
All right. Thank you,
Great.
Mr.
Thank
Robinson.
I'll be there with my grandson.
All right.
Last week we had health screenings out on Short 20th Street, and this week we have ice cream. Today on Short 20th Street, Denali Flavors and Mayfield Ice Cream are teaming up to donate 10,000 scoops of free Moose Tracks ice cream. For every scoop, Denali Flavors will donate $1 to the Salvation Army for up to $10,000. Here to give us more information this morning is Valerie Pessinen? Valerie, how do you pronounce your name? Anyway, here's Valerie.
All right.
That's another Valerie.
Yes.
The first Valerie, of course. Yes, my name's Valerie. I do feel a little underdressed. We've been setting up all morning, so. But as he mentioned, it is a free ice cream giveaway, so it's free Moose Tracks ice cream, and we partner here with the local dairy, so Mayfield, and then we also partner with the Salvation Army of Greater Birmingham, and we're set up from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m., and we have celebrity guest scoopers from different news stations, TV and radio, scooping throughout the day. So we'll have a lot of different local celebrities out there ready to scoop. And we'd be happy to see everyone over their lunch hour eat 3-4 scoops of ice cream, come back in line, feel free. And like he said too, for every scoop eaten, we will donate $1 to the local Salvation Army up to $10,000. So it's going to be a beautiful hot day, so feel free to come and join us on our lunch hour, and we really appreciate you letting us come in and speak about it this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Councils, about 2 years ago, the city of Birmingham and this mayor were asked to participate as part of Cities United, which was an effort to look at how we could have an impact and develop strategies to improve the quality of life for citizens who live in stressful circumstances in our communities. Urban communities are fraught with many perils and many struggles. Cities United's efforts were to look at those issues that impact the quality of life, whether it's kids being removed from home because parents don't have the ability to take care of them, or abusing those children and things of that nature. One of the goals that we've set out is how can we bring the resources together and identify what the issues are that impact these families. The Casey Foundation, which was one of the sponsors of Cities United, has been working in Birmingham for almost a year and a half to look at the data in our community as to how we can have a positive impact on the lives of our young people in this community. This morning, the city of Birmingham is pleased to announce a partnership with the Casey Family Programs, the nation's largest operating foundation focused on safely reducing the need for foster care and building communities of hope for children and families across America. Here to tell us more about it this morning is John Colon, along with Paige Wiley and a number of others who have worked on this over the past year and a half. John, if you would come forward, Paige.
Good morning. Good morning. John Colon, Director of Community Development. Today we are joined by Dr. Paige Wiley, Strategic Consulting Managing Director for Casey Family Programs, in order to announce the tremendous partnership with Casey Family Programs on 2 initiatives that will be taking place in the city of Birmingham. Casey Family Programs is the nation's largest operating foundation focused on safely reducing the need for foster care and building communities of hope for children and families across America. And in its vision, it is such that they assist in creating a nation where supportive communities nurture the safety, success, and hope of every child, with a mission to provide and improve and ultimately prevent the need for foster care. The city of Birmingham is delighted to bring the establishment of its own Community of Hope, a nationwide effort to improve the safety and success of children and their families. Casey Family Programs works to support a broad range of public, private, and tribal, as well as community partners, to safely reduce the need for foster care by 50% by 2020. In addition to this, the 2016 Cities United convening will be a landmark event in Birmingham that will provide technical assistance and capacity building strategies for planning, implementation, and evaluation of comprehensive violence prevention and reduction strategies. This partnership represents a momentous occasion for both the city of Birmingham as well as the communities across its footprints and the Casey Family Programs. As the results of each event will assist in defining a new approach to the city of Birmingham's way in which it addresses community issues and needs, both socially and environmentally, and will aid in accomplishing Casey's long-term projected goals to reduce child neglect and abuse, as well as the need for foster care by 50% by the year 2020. Here to tell us more about that is Dr. Paige Wiley.
Thank you, John. Mayor Bell, councilors of the remarkable ascending city of Birmingham, good morning. It's my pleasure to be with you today on behalf of Casey Family Programs. As John mentioned, the nation's largest operating foundation, headquartered in Seattle, Washington, although I have the privilege of living and working right here in Alabama, first and foremost, and around 14 additional states. Our mission is to safely reduce the need for foster care by helping communities like Birmingham, be increasingly supportive of families so they can be stronger to keep their children safe and at home. And we can reduce incidents of neglect, abuse, and obviously fatality. Casey Family Programs' primary way of doing this is by working with communities to build hope and the mayor and John have mentioned the Communities of Hope initiative that we have engaged nationally as we see leaders who are saying we can do something in our communities to lift them up and to keep children safely at home. Birmingham is one of the nation's primary locations where we're going to partner aggressively to see this come to fruition. And because of the vision of the mayor, the council, and the business and philanthropic community here in Birmingham, we're going to be investing our considerable resources to support just that. It's our belief that in doing this, that this community of hope is going to be able to achieve some very measurable and sustainable outcomes for children and families, keeping those children safely at home. And it was determined, actually, over the last couple of years through a very robust predictive analytics process using geomapping that I know you all have seen, to look at data. To look at data by working with the mayor, the council, and the departments of this great city to see where are the needs greatest. Where are those calls coming from when there are allegations of abuse and neglect? Where are children being removed from families? Where are there opportunities to place children back with their relatives and homes? Where are other such opportunities to support the social needs so that those families can be strengthened? And what was determined through that was that we felt like stabilizing a major area of need in Birmingham would lead us first, but not exclusively, to the Loveman Village community in Titusville as a beginning. We think that as a result of this strategically developed work, we're going to be able to then expand that community of hope across Birmingham. I want to say that yesterday, like you all, I was thrilled to see what can be accomplished when a community rallies around a cause, like we saw in Birmingham. One of the things I want to say is even more thrilling for us at KC Family Programs is the fact that the mayor, the council, and the community has decided we can do even better than that for children and families here. We can make this a showplace, a national model for what it means to take care of our children, our families, and keep these children safe from abuse and neglect. And so we're going to be doing just that with you. We believe, like you do, in the right of every child to have a safe, healthy, and undisrupted environment in which they can develop and become responsible, tax-paying citizens. And this is an issue of economic and community development and well-being. I speak all over the country on this issue, beginning right here in Alabama, with the fact that just last month I was with the governor of Kentucky, who said in front of 35 other governors, we talk about the need for jobs, we talk about the importance of having a trained workforce, but what you've got to have first are healthy families, safe children that are able to be put in a position to learn those skills, that don't have to struggle with issues of substance abuse and mental health and domestic violence to the degree we've allowed it to happen in Kentucky. You have that same vision here. So I want to thank Mayor Bell and his executive team, particularly the three people we've had the most contact with, John Colon, Quanti Carson, and Amber Courtney, and the other city partners we've come to know so well. For instance, Miss Naomi Truman, the director of the Housing Authority, and Chief Roper. We believe that with this laser focus, with a collaborative partnership, that we're going to see more children kept safely at home here in Birmingham, and we're going to see, in addition to it becoming a national standard, a celebration that you heard the mayor mention, or John mention, next year when Cities United comes and sees the progress of what a community of hope can look like. So we thank you on behalf of KC Family Programs. We're here for the long run. This isn't just a 1 or 2 or 3 year effort. This is us with our boots on the ground looking for success with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Paige. And councilors, I hope you're beginning to see an overall strategy coming together to rebuild our communities. I know a lot of talk and discussion has been about, well, look what you're doing for the downtown area. What about the rest of the communities? we have been working for a number of years now to pull all of these programs together, and you're going to see program after program being initiated through the RIDES program, through other programs that you saw today with the police chief, through the Casey Foundation and the work that they're doing to rebuild and strengthen all of our neighborhoods and all of our communities throughout the area. And while Paige indicated that we're starting in the Loveman Village, Titusville community, the hopes is that this will spread out to all of the communities. The data pinpointed that particular community as the area with the greatest need and the best hope of turning things around. And I want to emphasize that again. This is data-driven, not about how I feel or they feel, but what the data tells us is the most impactful area that we can work in and then spread out from that point. So, Paige, Lynn, everybody, John, your team, I want to thank you all for getting us to this point, but there's still a lot of work to do. And I see Mrs. Jackson is here representing the Housing Authority, and we have Marcus Carson, which is a part of Growing Kings, and I'm sorry, Carrie. Carrie is with the Dannon Project, which is a reentry program for people who have gotten in trouble with the law and trying to make their way back into society. So thank you, Carrie. And let me add this. The Dannon Project has been cited by the Labor Department as one of the most outstanding programs in the country. And we got a lot to be proud of, but we also have a lot of work to do. And by bringing all of these entities together, we can impact the lives of young people who oftentimes get shuffled off into state custody because of either abuse by the parent or not having the resources to take care of that child, whatever reason. Well, the Casey Foundation is here to help us eliminate those reasons, to see that all children have an opportunity to grow up in a safe and whole family. So I want to thank you, Paige, and thank the entire team. Are there any questions?
Yes, Mayor. Councilor Hoyt.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand what kind of programmatics are we talking about with this community of hope. You know, you've talked about it summarily, but I want to know.
Yeah, Councilor Holt, what we do is we don't come in with a prescription of you're going to receive these kinds of initiatives. We go in and work with the community of what is it that you, as community leaders in the Loveman Village area, need to help keep these children safely at home with you. Now, we're very open. We've worked with communities across this country on similar kinds of initiatives that we label communities of hope, and it's community-driven. So, again, we're going to come in and we're going to be talking with the leaders of that community about and listening. Now that we've been able to identify where does there appear to be, based on the data, the best opportunity to raise up and support. So we're going to want to hear what they want. Some communities, it's issues around after-school programs. It's substance abuse treatment opportunities. It's job training. It's literacy issues. It's a variety of things. But again, we're not going to come in necessarily with anything but open ears and a willingness to provide the resources with our support. We're not a grant maker, as I mentioned, as far as writing a check only. We come in and provide what's needed. We underwrite all of that. But we're not going to be saying, well, here's a check, go out and do some good things and let us know how that works out. We're going to be saying, we're coming here with you. We're going to put the harness on and pull the direction you want to go, community. So, Counselor, it's going to be whatever that community identifies as its needs and what they will support, because they're going to have to own it over time.
Yeah, and my last comment would be, it would have been great, I think, if we had considered A.G. Gaston Boys and Girls Club, where kids come from low to moderate income families that certainly could have benefited from this program, and then I think they capture the kids throughout the city, quite frankly. And the YMCA would have been another opportunity, because I think what we have to do is maximize whatever efforts we do with respect to our young folk.
Counselor, I agree with you 100%. In fact, we have a meeting set with Frank Adams, who will be a part of the resources We have been identifying various resources throughout the community. A.G. Gaston Boys Club, the YMCA, the YWCA, they're all part of the resource list. And out of my meetings with Mr. Adams will come a strategy by which we can have those resources go into areas like Loveman Village and the Titusville community. But there are other organizations as well that we're talking with to bring the full force. Casey Foundation is boots on the ground. They're not bringing in any programs to set up shop, to open doors, but they're looking at what are the needs of that community and then who best can fill those needs, such as the A.G. Gaston Boys Club.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hoyt. Councilor Scales?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. Let me just say this. Well, first of all, Mayor, I am so happy that one of these beautiful ladies that you brought up is absolutely doing a great job, and that's Miss Carrie Pruitt. I have a lot of respect for her, a lot of respect for her work, and she's beautiful to look at. And I'm not off either, but I'm just saying that I think that her program has been very effective in this city. I think that that's the reason why the federal government has given you the accolade, or your organization the accolade, because you're making a tangible difference. One of the meetings, which I won't go into, but that we had before a council meeting, I think to any program, because if I have to be very honest, I think that we have assessed the needs of low-income folk, and I don't want to say to death, but we have. We just got to grow. We got to get beyond that assessment and what's going to become tangible in that community that's going to be a change maker. It's not going to come because of the fact we just put money into it, though we know that it takes money to provide resources. But this is an age-old problem, because you're talking to somebody who once lived in the projects. So I understand. And the problem in the academic is still the same. Lack of exposure, lack of education, lack of opportunities. I mean, that's still there. So what are we going to do differently? The difference is we're going to have to create more opportunities for advanced education, more opportunities for job placement or workforce development. That's just going to have to happen. I'm being very honest with you. So I would never try to undermine what you're doing. I applaud it. It's just I came to office to serve with the understanding that you're going to be a change maker. And I'm hoping that what you all are going to provide is going to really make an impact in a way that we're changing it. We're going from just being a program to we actually changing the quality of life. Because I'm just going to be honest with you, there's some parts of the city, it really burdens my heart. It really does. Because I can look back, I'm only 44, I can look back years ago and say, wow, community's still in the same shape. Folks still walking around with no jobs. Things are still the way they are. We've got to do something that's going to make that change. And so, you know, I applaud your efforts. And Carrie, you know I have a lot of respect for you and what you do. And I'm hoping that this will be the difference. This will be, not that we keep finding a new solution, because we know the solution. We just going to have to get bare bone with it and do it. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Mr. Pro Tem,
Thank you, Councilor.
council members probably some 5 or 6 months ago received notification that there was a new job training center that was opened up over, I think it's 4th Avenue South. The president of the council was there to represent the council. That will be one of the resources that we're using to train individuals. It has not been widely publicized. We're going to publicize that even more. I think what has happened, and you're absolutely correct, we've studied things to death from an emotional standpoint, but what Casey Foundation has been doing over the past year and a half is collecting data. And that data is driving everything. It's not just going in and asking people, what would you like to see happen? It's finding out, it's looking at the data to determine what is lacking in that community and what's needed in that community, and then having a list of resources that we can direct to go into that community and begin to turn things around. We're working with with Tom Perez, who's the Secretary of Labor, and a number of other cabinet officials to bring financial resources to help support those programs. But it may just be as simple as providing decent transportation for someone to get to a place that they can be trained, or opening up a training center right there in the midst of the community itself, setting up GED programs. All of that will come into play. It's not just a feel-good thing that they're going to stand here today and say, oh, we want to help the community. This is going to be a step-by-step process to bring the resources to bear on the issues that impact that community. Any other questions? If not, thank you all so much. Oh, one other thing, as was mentioned, the city of Birmingham, there have been two Cities United meetings that have taken place. The first was in New Orleans about 2 years ago, a little bit less than 2 years ago. And that was 23 mayors representing 23 cities coming together under the auspices of the Casey Foundation. A couple of weeks ago, the second meeting took place in Philadelphia, where all the mayors came together along with organizations and the federal government. In May of 2016, here in Birmingham, on May the 3rd and the 5th, we will have the third meeting of all of those organizations and mayors and representatives right here in Birmingham, Alabama. And I want to thank the entire team for working to make that happen. And hopefully we'll have some progress that we can demonstrate to the other mayors by the time that we have this conference here in Birmingham. So thank you all very much. At this time, I want to bring up Ms. Gwen Webb to talk about planting the seeds.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
First, giving honor and glory to God, who is my life, not just the head of it. I'm here on behalf of Triumph Youth and Adult Community Development and Foot Soldiers International, working together and planting the seed. If I may share this with you before we ask Dr. Bell to just, like they say on that television show, to come on down. Dr. Bevel here in Birmingham organized a program in Chicago called Students for Education and Economic Development, known as SEED. What was Bevel trying to accomplish with SEED? I am so glad you asked. What he was trying to him is the next phase of the civil rights movement in the 1960s. We use, as the youth of Birmingham, use nonviolence to tear down the barriers that restricted the African American community. But now we have to work to strengthen the democratic constitutional process. SEED teaches young people to initiate, develop, maintain, and administrate their government, their churches, their businesses, their clinics, their homes, and their schools through the science of the Lord's Prayer. It shows them how to save money and be an endowment, and then to use the interest from that to start any 6 areas of business: farming, garment making, tool making, house building, transportation, hospital, or clinic administration. What we bring to you is Children and SEED. These two organizations came together to acknowledge what was, and I'll get a copy of this to all of you, to acknowledge what we felt like, not only people planting the seeds in the ground, but people planting the seeds in the lives of so many individuals. And there were different individuals selected from different phases. And Dr. Bell, if you would please, sir. Dr. William Bell was selected Dr. William Bell was selected, and also Dr. Sharon Bell was also selected in the educational field for not only planting seeds in the ground, but planting seeds in the lives of so many others. I've known both of these individuals for over 40 years. and I do mean over 40 years. But see, I was a toddler then. I was a toddler. But to God be the glory. For when I look at these two young, loving couple, I can not only see the city of Birmingham, but in seeing you, Mayor Bell, in the Capitol in February, and seeing you work that Capitol, seeing you work the White House. People don't know what they have until they lose it. And to see all of those senators coming up to you and you saying the things that you said, I don't know about anybody else, but I see the two of you in the State House. Oh, well, I do. But on behalf of Triumph Youth and Adult Community Development and Foot Soldiers International, Inc., we proudly present to Mayor of the City of Birmingham, William A. Bell, for your supreme leadership and dedicated services to humanity, and in recognition of you being a catalyst for seeds to take root, impacting the lives of a multitude. And First Lady Bell, your plaque will say the same thing. Your plaque will say the same thing for all of the lives that you have impacted in the education field and other areas. Dr. Sharon Bell. If you don't mind, let's give them a great big hand clap. Thank you both for doing what you're doing, doing what you've done, and what you continue to do. God bless you both.
Gwen, thank you so much. Well, I'll just leave that alone, but thank you so much for this recognition. And insofar as the work in Washington, as I said before, we have an opportunity to bring a lot of resources back here to Birmingham. But it was also a time that they recognized Gwen and other foot soldiers for the outstanding job that they have done. And I think she had an opportunity to see the respect that the city of Birmingham has, not William Bell, but the city of Birmingham has, with all the different secretaries, all the different elected officials in Washington, D.C., who are prepared to help us develop the resources to move this community forward. So thank you very much for your recognition. That's all I have at this time, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have any reports for the mayor at this time? Councilor Scales?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem, and good morning, Mr. Mayor, and let me find my notes, I'm sorry. Got a couple of things, and one thing I do want to bring to your attention, Mr. Mayor, that particularly along Parkway East, I rode the road myself, Parkway East, Roebuck Parkway, and as a matter of fact, at the intersection of Eubanks Street, I believe, right there where the old Starbucks used to be. We now have these signs, these businesses, because we need help with enforcement, Mayor. And they have now taken the signs and put their signs on stop signs, yield signs. It's just trashing up and defacing the eastern part of Birmingham. And I don't know if Councilor Rafferty, you have seen it, because Roebuck Parkway is in your area. It's a mess. I mean, and so our main thoroughfares, Mr. Mayor, is I keep talking about these signs, but I think that these nice, friendly businesses ought to get them a fine, because they keep putting them out there, and then now they're putting them on the traffic signs, and we're having an issue with that. So to make a long story short, we do have some abandoned homes that are on the 100 block of Lawson Road. We have 205 Tucker Avenue. We got vacant homes on Meadowdale Avenue and 106 Vondale Drive. This is in the zip code 35215 area. Also, Red Mill Road, that we have potholes on there, and whatever it takes in order for us to get what little money we do have left out to Mr. Fancher so that that can be resolved, Mr. Mayor. I'm more than willing to do that. Also, we have on Sun Valley Road, the right-of-way, we need the brush and debris to be picked up in that area as soon as possible. Also, we have on the right-of-way of Valley Crest Drive that the citizens in that area are asking for the right-of-way to be cut and cleaned. Also, we have on 7th Street Northwest, which is zip code 35215, we have an overgrown lot that has rodents and snakes on it. And this is in the 2000 blocks, 7th Street Northwest in the Redstone community. And she's asking for the city to look into this matter. But I want to, again, too, Mayor, because I told Mr. Bittis this morning, but just to keep the air clear, we don't give directives. And so I just want to make sure that in the Winewood community, that they are, I'm asking on their behalf, but they are asking about this ditch. I mentioned it to you, and I appreciate you for staying in for just a moment. This will be my last comment, Mr. Pro Tem, on last week, but it is creating a flood issue because you had a part of it, and they thought that the bond money for Phase 4 would be the end of it. We only had phases 1 through 3, and now it's gone to 4, and looked like it's going to be a 5th one that we didn't know about. So nevertheless, it's creating a flood issue. So I just wanted to put that out in the open, Mr. Mayor, that we don't direct staff. We ask you. And so with that having said, if we could look into that matter, because those homes over there, in fact, one of them have just decided to move, and they actually work for the fire department in the city. So, Ms. Pro Tem, I caught you, and that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Scales. Any reports for the mayor? Councilor Rafferty?
I just have one quick. Mr. Mayor, I just needed your assistance because I'm trying to track this down. We had spoke about the security fence last week about the fire department. With the PIC money for District 2, we purchased needed appliance replacements for stations 19, 26, 27, 31, and 32. And I'm trying to find out where they are. The lawn equipment had already been delivered to the stations, but I can't find any update on where the appliances are. Have they been acquired? Are they being installed? I talked to Chief Gordon. He's also looking for me, but if y'all can just direct me to the person to ask about how this is going, because I'd like them to be able to get their equipment in place as soon as possible.
Councilor Hoyt?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Mayor, and good morning to council. Just wanted to thank you. I saw where the road on Pike Road has been cut that I had concerns about. And also on Warrior Road, partially has been addressed. This is between Ensley Avenue and going towards the old Mark's Marsh Bakery. And but I do appreciate it. It looks 10 times better. So I just wanted to say that this morning. I don't have any other concerns at this point.
Mr. Pro Tem, can we let, Mr. Finch, can you address the issue about the equipment for the fire? Purchasing, I'm sorry. Ron?
Could you repeat the question?
We had purchased appliance replacements for stations 19, 26, 27, 31, 32, and we just hadn't gotten an update as to that we have acquired them, and that I know they haven't been installed, and that's what I'm.
Let me go back and check. I know there was a discussion probably a week or so ago about that, but I'll have to go back and see whether the POs have actually been completed yet or not. Maybe they haven't, it just hasn't delivered yet.
And then once those are issued, they go to Public Works, and then Public Works installs them.
We'll install them, yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
Okay.
I'm just following the process. Thank you.
Councilor Scales, second time.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. One last thing, Mr. Mayor. I brought this to your attention about 18-wheeler trucks that are on Roebuck Parkway and Parkway East. Gave some specific locations, and they're still parking there. Matter of fact, Mr. Mayor, at CJ's Lounge on Roebuck Parkway, I saw some trucks that were over there now. It's like every vacant, blighted former business that's over there in the eastern area. These 18-wheeler trucks are taking over. And I'm gonna give it one more time. CJ's Lounge that's right there at Roebuck Parkway, the old China Buffet, which used to be Shoney's long time ago, on Parkway East. If you go down to Food Giant, what used to be Food Giant, they're parking along the side of that. Every vacant piece of property, Mr. Mayor, that we have, these 18-wheelers, instead of them going to a truck stop, they have made them a truck stop in the community, which is unfortunate. So we do need your help to get the police department to start ticketing these folk so that they'll know you don't find your truck stop in the community. And the last thing, again, I want to reiterate that On the Way Spirits, that's on Carson Road, it is in the city. I'm telling you, it's in the city. It is, and I'm not talking to you, Mr. Mayor. I was actually saying that to someone that's saying it's not. It's in the city. It's right next door to the Branch Apartments, and it's right there at the Redstone Community. And every time somebody says it's not it's the county, the city has cut and cleaned it before. It is in the city. I'm telling you, it's in the city. And it's on the right-hand side of the road. If you're going up Carson Road, coming down is on the left-hand side. So, Mr. Mayor, if we can get that mess cleaned up and find them as well, the owners of that property, so that they can stop using our city resources to keep this area clean of this property that they own. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilor Scales.
Mr. Pro Tem?
Yes,
The
Mayor.
problem that we have with the trucks that are parking, they're parking on private property. The police can't go and give a ticket on private property unless the property is posted, no trespassing. Even though you have absentee owners of the property, we still just can't go in there, and even if we gave the ticket would not be valid because it is on private property unless it's posted. We're gonna work to try to get those owners to post the property, but in most cases, they've just either abandoned the property altogether or they really just don't care. But we're caught in a legal limbo there that we've gotta try to work our way through so that we can address the problems of the trucks that are parked on those private lots.
Thank you, Mayor. Seeing no other reports from the mayor at this time, Ms. Clerk, we're ready for the agenda. First item.
Should be item 1. An ordinance amending the City of Birmingham zoning ordinance, Article 6, supplementary regulations and modifications by amending Section 9, sign regulations to allow for advertising on bus stops by the Birmingham Jefferson County Transit Authority and by bike share organizations on public bike share kiosks filed by the Department of Planning, Engineering, and Permits in the hearing of all interested parties. This is the second reading.
Thank you, Ms. Clerk. You have a motion?
I move approval.
That's Abbott and Parker. The items before us at this time, this is an item of permanent operation, Ms. Clerk. And at this time, Ms. Gambrell, if you will, please present the case to us.
Yes, sir. This is case ZAC 2015-6. It is a citywide ordinance to allow for off-premise signs to be placed on bus shelters and bike share kiosks. At the regular scheduled meeting on April 21, 2015, the Zoning Advisory Committee voted to recommend approval of the ordinance change. And at a regular scheduled meeting on April 28, 2015, the Planning and Zoning Committee also voted to recommend approval of this ordinance change.
Thank you, Mr. Gambrell. This item is a public hearing. Is there anyone to speak from the public at this time for or against this item? Is anybody in the public that would like to speak for or against this item at this time? Seeing none, any council members? We're ready for the vote, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, voting should be open. That vote should be up about now.
Item passes unanimously. Next item.
Should be item number 9. An ordinance amending ordinance number 15-75 adopted by the council May the 26th, 2015, to amend the investment policy statement, Exhibit A, incorporated by reference, and even though it's an amendment, it's still like a first reading. We need UC to entertain it today.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do you have a motion?
Mr. President, I move approval.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, now it's before you. Now, well, we need a motion.
Another motion.
I move approval.
Abbott Parker.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, items before us at this time. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're ready for the vote.
Voting should be open. Councilmember Hoyt, thank you, sir. That vote should be up.
Item passes unanimously. Next item.
Should be item number 18, which is on page 23. A resolution appointing one member to the Health and Medical Benefits Board for the term expiring May the 31st, 2019. I think that's Councilor Hart.
Yeah,
Councilor Hoyt?
Yeah, actually,
We need a motion first,
Okay,
Mr. Clerk.
yeah, and I need the names, because
I think
don't
it's just Christopher.
No, it's three of them. This is for the,
This is for one person.
One member.
I think it's Christopher. Am I right?
We are not in order with, we're not in quorum right now.
oh, yes, that's right, okay. Well,
We don't have a quorum.
We don't have a quorum right now, Mr. Clerk. I'm going to ask that all council members that are,
Scales in
please come in the chambers at this time.
Just incredible.
And if you would, please notify the chair before departing the chamber so we can proceed with the business of the city.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I need to know, Council. Just let me know. Okay. We just got that one, Council Scales. All right. All right, let's go ahead and proceed with the motion for item number 18. Do you have a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
That's been moved by Councilor Abbott and Councilor Hoyt. The items before at this time. Councilor Hoyt.
Yes. What is Chris' last name?
Which Chris?
You, Chris. Yeah. Yes, Mr. President, this is to appoint Mr. Christopher Scott to the Benefits and Health Board. And so we want to move the item.
Thank you, Councilor Hoyt. Any names considered from the council at this time? Seeing none, we'll close with Christopher Scott. Ready for the vote, Mr. Clerk.
Who was that original motion? I'm sorry.
That was Councilor Abbott, second by Councilor Hoyt.
Thank you. All right, voting should be open. Councilor Tice, how would you like to vote, Council? Thank you. That vote should be up.
That item passes unanimously. Christopher Scott will be appointed to the Health and Benefits Board. Next item.
Should be item 32, which is on page 26, I'm sorry. A resolution approving payment to AT&T Birmingham for the purchase of switchboard Ethernet services to update current pricing schedule 2014-0214-3258 and provide for future requirements as needed for a period of 1 year and month to month thereafter based on bid awarded contract by the state of Alabama T number T-413, contract number 113 for the Information Management Services Department, and authorize the mayor to execute any necessary documents on behalf of the city.
Okay, do we have a motion? Yes, I move the item. Second, that's Councilor Parker, Councilor Robertson. Items before us. Any discussion? Ready for the vote, Mr. Clerk.
Voting should be open. That vote should be up.
The item passes. Note the abstention for Councilor Abbott. Next item.
Should be item 33, a resolution setting a public hearing June 30th, 2015 to consider the adoption of a resolution to amend the amended and restated North Birmingham Urban Renewal and Redevelopment Plan.
Mr. President, I move approval.
That's Abbott and Parker. The items before us. Setting a public hearing. Ready for the vote.
Voting should be open now. That vote should be up.
That item passes unanimously. The public hearing is set, June 30th, 2015. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Should be item 35, a resolution approving the agreement with the Birmingham Board of Education, Birmingham, in an amount not to exceed $1,207,500 to provide services for Camp Birmingham, fine arts, cultural arts programs, workforce development, vocational programs, and valedictorian and salutatorian programs, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
Mr. President, I move approval.
Second, that's Councilor Abbott, Councilor Roberson. The items before us. Any speakers? Councilor Hoyt?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, is this the normal programmatics that would constitute this this amount of money? Or these are normal programs that they? So when you do the valedictorian program at what is one of the department stores? I think we did one of you. So all that comes under under this here. Okay, very good.
That it, Councilor Hoyt?
Yes, that's
All right,
it.
thank you, Councilor. Councilor Scales?
And I also want to point out, there was a lot of rumors about Camp Birmingham was being phased out. It is not being phased out. Just want to put that on the public record.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Scales?
Thank you, Mr. President. I thought, Mr. Hoyt, that you probably was going to ask this question, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask myself. So, Mayor, is this, I know obviously it's for this year's fiscal budget. So are we, what are the plans for next year? Well, I take that back, because if this is the valedictorian and salutatorian, I'm more or less talking about this $1.2 million for the Camp Birmingham and the workforce development vocational programs. Are we looking to refund those again?
They're in the budget, in the current budget that the council is reviewing.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure of that. Okay, all right.
Well, yeah,
Thank you, Councilor
just a
Scales.
follow-up question. I mean,
Councilor Hoyt?
statement. Really.
Second time.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a couple of years ago that we put a line item for community schools, and we did that because we didn't want them to have to keep coming back every year for a. And I think most of you all council remember that. And so that line item, I'm hoping that we put it back in place, and it becomes a part of the budget as it was before. But it, every year I think, we kind of move it around, but we want to be clear about that going forward. So, Madam Chair, if you would revisit that again, we really want to do that because we passed it simultaneously to do that, and so I'm hoping that going forward we would go as it should have been as a line item, rather than them coming back every year. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hoyt. Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, and the one thing that I wanted to say was, I think it was this past year was the first time that we told the Board of Education we would give them this money undesignated, and they could decide what they wanted to do themselves rather than us telling them what to do. But we also were told that the Board of Education didn't want community schools anymore, and it turned out that that wasn't like 100% accurate. The board still wanted it. Maybe it was the superintendent who wasn't interested, but we, in the last year's budget, we said we were not going to designate what the money went for. So we'll have to make a decision this year whether we want to designate or not designate. But that's what we did. Yeah, that's what we did last year. We said it was unrestricted. Of course, here we are restricting it in this item, but we said we weren't going to restrict it. So that'll be a new decision for this year's budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott. Councilor Rafferty?
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, when this came up last year, there was mention about, if I understand this correctly, that the Board of Education runs the program for the city. the community education. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And was there supposed to be a plan coming forward to restructure the community school?
is.
And do you know when we might, I'd like to, will we get that before we have to make the budget decisions?
It was my plans to, I've told council members over and over again that we were looking at that whole process. We have had meetings, and we will be making a presentation. The programs at community schools, for the most part, that impact the public will be maintained, but the process by which they will be maintained will be different. It will be done in order to maximize federal dollars that we'll be able to get. And that's what we're looking at. I'll be able to present that to the council during the budgetary process for the council to make a decision one way or the other.
And I have some grant information also that has to do with community schools. Who would I hand that off to?
You can give it to me.
Okay, thank you.
One last.
Thank you, Councilor Rafferty. Councilor Scales, second time.
Yes, sir. One last question. So, Mr. Mayor, what source are we getting this information from? Is this actually coming from the Board of Education? Or where are we at, what's going to be the source of the information that's going to tell us about community schools and?
It will be my office.
Okay, but is your office receiving that information from the board?
My office is gathering up information from many different sources, not just the Board of Education.
Okay, and I wanted to know that, and let me just say this, Mr. Mayor, because I certainly respect you and I respect the office of the administration. But the reason why I keep on talking about this publicly is because I'll say this again. Some of these board members are telling folk to call us. And I want to make sure that I'm giving them the most accurate information as possible, because first of all, they should be talking to the board member, not the council member. But being that this has become as tainted as it has become, that's why I want to know if when we get this information from you, is that source of that information is Board of Education only? And since you say it's coming from variable sources, I would ask Mr. Pro Tem also if we could schedule a meeting with someone with the board as well, that they're telling us what it is that they're asking for and what they want, because I certainly don't want it to become nasty and we're dealing with children. You know what I'm saying, Ms. Pro Tem? If we can hear from them, take what the mayor is saying, and advising the council to look at and to do, and to also involve the Birmingham City School Board directly. Since Arthur Watts is not going to be there, someone has got to take his place, even if it's Ed McMullen, but someone that needs to tell us what's going on.
And to join in with the council lady, I would hope that the council will look at all of the money that we've given, to look at the financial structure that has been in place in the past, to look at how the money has been spent and compare that with what the recommendations will be, to take a holistic approach to what community school does or does not do in its present format. And I think that will lead us to a decision that the council can make, having all the information at their disposal.
All right. Councilor Tyson.
Can we make sure that the community school committee is there also?
We'll take everything that's been provided publicly for consideration. I do know that the president has set scheduled budget hearings to take place throughout when I would say each district, throughout different areas of the community. And we can take into consideration an invitation to invite the Board of Education and other appropriate parties to be a part of those discussions at a future date and time. All right. Are we ready for the vote?
Voting should be open. That vote should be up.
Item passes unanimously. Next item.
Addendum item 38. A resolution approving the following advance expense account. April Odom, Director of Communications, Mayor's Office, San Francisco, California, $4,768.84. June the 19th through the 22nd, 2015, to attend 83rd Annual United States Conference of Mayors.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have a motion?
Second.
That's Parker and Rafferty. I'm sorry, Councilor Abbott.
Well, we look
That's
alike.
Parker and Abbott. I didn't say that. You said that, Council. Items before us for a vote.
Voting should be open. Counselor Tyson. That vote should be up.
That item passes unanimously. Next item.
Then we got speakers, old and new business.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is there a motion to suspend the rules for the speakers?
So move.
Second?
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. Clerk, first speaker.
1 second, please. I think we got Willie Jenkins. No, that's last week. I don't see this week.
I got the list
got it?
too. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got Kerry Warren.
I got it. Yeah.
Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address the council at this time.
Hello, good morning to the council. My name is Kerry Warren. I reside at 2120 21st Street North, Birmingham 35234. Once again, good morning to everybody. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I was hoping that Councilman President Austin was here because if I'm not mistaken, our district is his district down in the Evergreen community. I've been elected of sorts to come to speak about a piece of property located at 2020 22nd Avenue North. This particular property has become a nuisance down through time. And what I will say as a nuisance, it is being used to house drug activity, prostitution, fights. I mean, you name it. It's just a vagrance. If I could, I can kind of got a few notes I want to touch on so I won't forget anything. This property is owned by, if I'm not mistaken, owned and managed by Myers Properties, and they're located at 401 13th Street South in Birmingham. This particular property, I would have brought pictures to let you know, but this property has 16 units. It's one building structure, but 16 apartments, of which 5 are only occupied by tenants. Every other unit is vacant. Every other unit is damaged. There are units with no doors, no windows, things of that nature. Now, with that being said, I've talked to several of the occupants that live there now, which have stated to me that they're not even paying rent to live in this property. That alone kind of gives validation to the statement, people pay how they stay somewhat. So with that being said, I can give you just a short detailed list about things that goes on in the property because I live directly across the street. On Monday, May 1st, at 7 a.m., drug transaction. 7:40 a.m., drug transaction. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 a.m., drug transaction. Approximately 11 o'clock, that's when they seem to congregate. Number of cars pull up, loud radios. Next thing you know, issue happens, fights start to happen, fights break out. That's when the violence comes and gunshots. May 2nd, Saturday, starts off at 8 a.m., drug transaction throughout the day. A cookout started at about 3:30 p.m., which led to a fight, ultimately, which led to 6:30 p.m. gunshots. Again, 11 o'clock that same night, gunshots. I can go on and on with giving you the same directive of what goes on in this particular space. Now, Myers Property owns at least 3 known apartment complexes in a 2.5 to 3 block radius with this same activity. I have been elected to speak to you about this one particular property because you have a number of elderly residents that live adjacent to this property that are in fear of retaliation from these individuals. That's why I'm here to speak for them as well as myself. I believe it was May 22nd, I had my son, my nephew, and a couple of their young friends, about 6 or 7 years old, over for a sleepover. We were sitting around watching TV about 10:30, and 11 o'clock, gunshots rang out. I had to grab my kids to the floor. That's when I became fed up with the last thing.
Mr. Warren,
Yes.
I know these are very sensitive matters, but if you don't mind, can you wrap up for us?
Yeah,
We'll
okay,
suspend the
okay.
rules to allow him another 2 minutes.
Is that a motion?
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, Councilor West.
Mr. Warren?
You continue to speak, Mr. Warren. Continue. We allowed you a few more.
I understand.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Mayor, to sum it up, I saw you and President Austin over in Smithfield when that tragic situation happened about those 3 guys. And I heard you say something. You said you can't wait on the police to take back your neighborhood. You have to step up and do something to yourself. That's kind of paraphrased, but that's what I got your meaning from. Well, I'm here now, and we need your help with this issue.
All right, would you do this for me? It's Captain Crutchfield back there in the back in the corner. I want you to get with him and share that information. I also, I'm going to have Don Lupo get with you, but in my different departments, planning and engineering and community development, I want them to go out and take a look at those apartments because it sounds like it may be some code violations and some other things going on.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a two-pronged approach. One from the public safety standpoint, that's Captain Crutchfield, and 2 from just the habitability of the place. We're going to have our departments go out there and look at it. So
I
if you can
appreciate
get with
that.
him.
I really do.
And give me a number where I can reach you.
If I'm not mistaken, it's 2020 22nd Avenue North, 35234. It's located in the Evergreen community.
Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Let's get with him. Go back.
Next speaker, Ms. Clark.
Reverend
She presented
Stone.
earlier.
Mildred Dawson.
Ms. Mildred Dawson, will you please come forward?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Mildred Dawson. And I'm appealing today about a traffic issue that we have. I had some little printouts. I had one for the mayor, if you would like to have it. I have one for Councilman Holt and the person, Mr. Dawkins, over the engineering department. And yes, sir. My name is Mildred Dawson, and I'm coming on behalf of my church. The church in the area is Tabernacle of the Word, and there's a Lethea House. The address is 2709 Ensley Avenue. And I started in December 31st trying to get it's an issue with traffic. And every time in that little area is coming out of the 5 Points Ensley area. All the traffic leaves that traffic light on the corner and it just shoots down the hill and it goes towards Jim Burke Lombard, Chevrolet, it goes towards the interstate, going back to Ensley or 5 Points. Very, very, very high volume of traffic on that main road. And it's been so many accidents in that very spot. I witnessed to myself. Even the 25th of May, one of the ladies, our sisters, was hit. Her car was totaled. Every time a vehicle is hit in that area, the vehicle is totaled. And as I said, I started December 31st. And this is my request. I'm coming to you asking for help with this very serious, dangerous traffic issue. We have at the corner of 2709 Ensley Avenue, 35218, between Tabernacle of the Word and Alethea House is right on the corner. Since I've come to you, and I have the document there, for help, there has been several accidents in the same spot. Even on this past Sunday, one of our sisters was hurt. The car was totaled. I have no idea of how many accidents that has been in that area when we're not there. I have no idea how many injuries. Even one of the gentlemen across the street, his son has been paralyzed. He was hit in that area. He's angry, he's upset, he won't even talk to us. People have called police because the way we park, the streets at parallel park. So that's all we know to do is parallel park on that corner, but we need a traffic light. We had a traffic light, we could slow that traffic down where we'll be able to be safe for the people, for the lives, for the traffic going to the interstate. There's a school in the area, it's just so much traffic. We really need a traffic light. And just to see the people that be hurt in that area. We don't know the damage that it caused and the hardship it caused on their families. So I'm pleading and I'm asking for a traffic light. And I have the documentation. I've been at least 8 times. And on their record, an engineer department told me that people have tried and tried and tried since the 80s, I want to say, but I'm not sure. But can we please save lives in that area with a traffic light? And I would like to have something written in on paper where when we park, people don't call police to say we're illegal parking. Those are my two requests.
Thank you, Ms. Dawson. Councilor Hoyt?
Yes, Ms. Dawson, let me thank you for coming. Because I live over there, I know exactly what you're talking about. And actually, there are two areas of concern. One is right behind John Tax Service, because these streets kind of blends into the main traffic on Inslee Avenue, and the one that you're talking about also does the same thing. It's a side street
Yes, sir.
that feeds into meanders to the to Inslee Avenue. It is a concern because once you build your speed, because you're going downhill, you build your speed, it's kind of hard to stop and then sometimes you can't see beyond the hill. And so it is a concern. I would hope that we would consider that, and how much, I don't know how much it would cost to put a traffic light, but you need really two, one at the top of the hill as you're going over into 5 Points, and then one coming back towards Limbaugh. It would break up the speed of the driver, because a lot of times you can't. And if somebody's crossing the street, they very well could be, could be demised by traffic, by a car hitting them or so. So I would hope that the mayor, he's here, so he's listening, and traffic engineer is here as well. But it is a concern. And I do know the cars come by there quite fast.
Thank you, Councilor Hoyt. Mayor?
Mr. Pro Tem, I'm very familiar with that. In fact, I was just over there yesterday, and you've got a traffic light there about a block away. I don't know how that'll work with two traffic lights right there together, because the problem is people coming around that curve at top speed. We've got to slow them down before they get to that curve. Right. And also, you got people pulling out onto Inslee Avenue from those side streets. We may have to have some do not enters or no left turns or right turns from those areas. But what I will do, I'll have traffic engineering take a look at it and come back with what's the best recommendation, one, to slow traffic down, and two, to make people safe in that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Hoyt?
Just want to say, Mr. Mayor, and we might want to consider making them one-ways back this way, as opposed to having people come out, and they would, feed over into that area. But if
Where
you
you
make it
can
a
turn off of Inslee Avenue onto those roads, but you can't turn from those roads onto Inslee Avenue.
I would think that might help too. So that's something for us to consider.
Thank you, Ms. Dawson. Thank you. Next speaker.
George Stewart.
Ms. Stewart, please state your name and address for the record. You have
Good
3
morning.
minutes.
Good morning. George W. Stewart, 1366 Miami Trail, Birmingham. To Mr. Mayor, councilors, and I saw Bishop Woods here, father of our city. Much has been said this morning about collaborations and about our youth, and I come announcing the 2015 Youth Arts Seminar. It's a summit where we're bringing young people together as a community, the village. What we simply want to do is, many young people are dying before they ever know why they live. And we want to stir up their gifts. This is going to be June 13th, collaboration right now of about 12 churches, business people, politicians, community leaders. On that day, what we're going to do is bring before them individuals who are astute in the area of the arts, culinary arts, visual arts, dance, singing, production, music production. And then we're going to let these young people write on a card what they feel like their callings are. And when they do that, we're going to let them bring them down to the altar. We're going to pray over them as a community, stir up these gifts, and then we'll present them with a certificate that will identify what they say they've been called to do in life. I think it's going to be powerful. Statistics show that young people who get involved in the arts are 3 times more likely to succeed. Unfortunately, when finances are cut in our school systems, we cut out the arts program, and that's the thing many times keep our young people involved. We'll close the evening at 6 o'clock, 6:30 actually, honoring 50 young people throughout our community. I was with the Department of Youth Services last week. We're going to honor several of those young people that were down at the Crossplex. I want to encourage the council people, if you have some young people in your district for each of you to at least nominate 2 young people that we can honor that night. As I close, I just want to say I appreciate everything that you're doing in the city. I know you're working hard. You're under great challenges, but as all the people who come up here today, when we as citizens in our community can do our part, sometimes it looks like we're not doing enough, but we're going to keep doing what we can do. Our young people are not our future, they are today. So thank you so very much for the time. Appreciate you very much. I'm going to give you 35 seconds back.
Thank you for the 35 seconds, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Clerk, next speaker.
Can't pronounce the last, Swanigan? Swanigan. I'm not gonna try to put it.
Mr. Swanigan, if you will, state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Gareth Swanigan, and my address is 2220 25th Street West. And I was just coming to speak on behalf of the community education program, the community school. And I just want to thank y'all so much for continuing to support the community schools and all the various programs that's offered by community schools. I'm very excited to hear that it was passed. So therefore, thank you all for also coming out to different productions that we've hosted, that I've directed, that I choreographed, also supporting the youth. Thank you for supporting Camp Birmingham after school programs. We know these are vital programs that's in our community. And being a product of Birmingham City Schools, after school care, Camp Birmingham, and the community schools brings me great joy to see that the cities continue to provide this great service. So thank you.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Swanigan. Councilor Scales.
Thank you, sir. Well, come on back. So let me just say this, and then I'll say this more on a spiritual note. It's always good to give thanks in advance. So you said thanks in advance, and I want you to know that's in advance. We haven't passed it yet. You get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so you keep coming, you keep advocating. We will have the budget process is what we'll be doing in the communities, but keep on coming before the council, and the budget hadn't passed, and so therefore that part of it hasn't, and I think that we have some very strong supporters of community schools because we see the value, we know the value, and we're going to just continue to work through it. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank you, Councilor Scales. Councilor Hoyt.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm just so proud of this young man. I have, many of y'all may not know, but I've been a member of Park Community Schools for quite a long time. And this is one of our best practices here. This young man can dance like nobody's business, but he's also a great orator. He has participated in our youth forums that we have. These are national forums that they get subjects from the national body. And I have seen him perform. I've gone and seen he and other young people, but this young man is outstanding. It's just, it's going to be very wonderful to see the end product of this young man. He continues to grow each and every day, and I appreciate him. And I'm telling you, if you hadn't seen this brother dance, he is bad, and put his whole essence into his performance, and so we really appreciate you. I thought I was going to see you in the Wiz, but maybe the next time. Yeah, but you're awesome, and so we appreciate that. Good example.
Thank you, Councilor Hoyt. Mr. Swag, I got one question. Councilor Hoyt said you could really dance.
Yes, sir.
So can you whip and can you nay-nay?
I can do it all, sir.
You can do it both? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's what I do.
Young folks back there, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, I will definitely, I appreciate you coming forth. As Councilor Scales stated, what we approved today was an appropriation for funding for community schools in the 2014-15 fiscal year. Our chairwoman of Budget and Finance will definitely bring forth discussions moving forward to see what we do in this next budget cycle. So thank you for your willingness to come forth and speak out this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, what's next, Mr. Clerk?
I think we have old and new business.
All right, we got old and new business. Councilor Tyson.
Thank you, Pro Tem.
You're welcome.
Monday, June the 8th, we have our West End Manor neighborhood meeting at New Hope Baptist Church, 6 p.m. Tuesday, June the 9th, Arlington West End neighborhood meeting, West End Library, 6 p.m. South Titusville neighborhood meeting, Titusville Library, 6 p.m. I would like to thank everyone who attended the workshop at More Than Conquerors Faith Church Saturday. We had a great turnout. The church was well prepared for the visitors that we had. We had a large amount of people. They were so polite and nice and organized. And I just appreciate the church, Pastor Green, so much for welcoming us to the church. Also, I would like to thank our Vulcan Legal Group, the Renaissance Bank, Soho Properties for participating in the technology and financial part of financing financial freedom. Also, I would like to remind veterans that the DAV helps find benefits, fill out benefit claims through the Military Veterans Administration on Tuesdays, which is today, from 10 to 2, every fourth Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m., 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on 2nd Avenue North, 614 2nd Avenue North. It's open to all veterans. It's a benefit. If you haven't visited the place, you need to visit because it's a great facility to help veterans. June the 19th from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Princeton Tower Senior Citizen Living Community and the West End Wellness Council will invite you to a health and wellness fair. The goal is to increase health, wellness throughout screening, education, and promoting positive behavior and choices in seniors. We look forward for volunteers and vendors for this event. If you have any questions, you can contact Janet Graham at 783-3292. Also, District 6 will be taking applications for committee council assistants. You can call my office at 254-2358, 254-2359, from 9 to 5 o'clock, or to put an application in and get the information for applications. Also, I would like to give a list of complaints to the mayor. 1004 Cotton Avenue Southwest, burnt down house, and they want to get it on the list to be condemned and under demolition. Overgrown lot at 1031 Cotton Avenue Southwest. Also, I'm not going to talk long about the Tuscaloosa Old Allen's Drugstore, which collapsed in the middle of the night, day before yesterday on Sunday. Really, it was Monday, early Monday morning, right over a bus stop. And the city came out and cleaned it up, and I appreciate it so much, Mr. Patton, for getting people out there so quick to clean up everything. But this building needs to come down, along with the 14th Street, along with Lockway Gardens, and it's a big problem in District 6 because the problem is that the facilities and the buildings are so large, and children are riding bikes through them, playing around the buildings. I just thank God that it was not at 10 o'clock in the morning, because I know someone would have died. Asked for an extension on top for me to speak.
Is there a motion to offer Council Tyson?
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
2 minutes, Council Tyson.
And because I know someone would have died in the process of that building falling down on that bus stop the way it did. And I just know we just got to put more attention to the communities that have these dilapidated large properties that's sitting in our neighborhood. And I would like to also start the process of condemning Montebello Gardens. We have one resident there at Montebello Gardens around at least 400 units of abandoned apartments burnt down, asbestos dust and everything else blowing in the air. And I want to start the process of getting that fixed also in District 6. And I would like to also congratulate to Freddie and Lucy Birch, who got married on June the 2nd, 1941. And today they celebrate their 74th wedding anniversary. I'm actually going to surprise them and go out to their house and take some flowers and some more things and resolution out. To stay married 74 years, that's a long time. And but I like to definitely congratulate them. And I also want to give the veterans, the disabled veterans, Chapter 4 phone number. It is 251-7413, 251-7413, and the address is 238 2nd Avenue North, 238 2nd Avenue North. So please visit that chapter if you need your benefits filled out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Tyson. Councilor Scales?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. As always, I want to thank the citizens of District 1, as well as the city of Birmingham, for affording me the opportunity to be their voice. Our neighborhood meetings for tonight, 6 p.m. promptly, we have the Bridlewood Neighborhood Association. They meet at the East Pinson Valley Recreation Center. The same place applies for Apple Valley Neighborhood Association, and they meet at 7 p.m. tonight. Also want to do a resolution of sympathy for Ms. Kelly, and I will provide the council with that the first name of Ms. Kelly. That's what I refer to as, and I so move.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye. Move the item.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you, Council Pro Tem. And also, I want to say this, that we had to cancel Jazz in the Park the day of Memorial Day, which was May 24th, and that was due to the rain. And so I look forward to when we're going to have our upcoming event in August 2015. And I had one request. I don't mean to interrupt you, Mayor, because I know that you're speaking next to me, but I want to get your approval by way of Mr. Patton. There's an issue that we've been working on for about 2.5 months, maybe 3 months, in regard to fiscal agent. And I know that the law department cannot assist until they have been authorized to assist the council members in that regard. But I just wanted to make you aware that the economic development arm that we have been using that already has a contract with the city, which is Rev Birmingham, the funds for our district are already at their office. So we just want to get your permission, Mr. Mayor, based upon a project we got coming up in the district. Just want to get your authorization to speak to the law department about it. We were talking, but I want to respect protocol because they have been informed that they needed to get your permission. Do I have your permission, Mr. Mayor, for that regarding just that particular item?
Mr. Mayor, we can't hear you. You don't mind?
So Mr. Bentley is going to be getting with the council either in writing or in some other capacity about the approach to having other organizations act as outside agents. And at that time, you can address that particular issue and the particulars with him as well.
Yeah, well, the reason why I'm asking you, Mr. Mayor, about this one is only because of the fact Rev Birmingham already has our funds, and Mr. Bentley, I think you know that. Like the city has already engaged them for 2014-15 on our behalf, Mayor, and we're just trying to get past that obstacle of working through where we go today, because otherwise we would have to unengage Rev Birmingham on a contract that's already been signed by you and all the entities. So that's our little variable there. So if I just needed your permission, Justice Cook has already been made aware. Can we move for a suspension of the rules? I don't even need 2 minutes.
Second. 1 minute,
Council
Councilor Scales.
by saying aye. All opposed?
Man, you a mess. How you gonna say 1 minute? And you gave Council Tyson 2 minutes.
He said you didn't need
Okay,
to.
but I get you, Miss Abbott. All right, but Mr. Mayor, so if you don't mind, I just would like to get your authorization to speak to Justice Cook and the law department. They're already familiar. It's just that they didn't want to move any further until they had your approval. But like I said, this is a different variable because this contract has already been signed. Funds have already been dispersed to Rev Birmingham. So if you don't mind to work with me on it, I would be really grateful.
Stated earlier, you can get with Mr. Bentley.
Okay. Well, as long as Mr. Bentley heard it from you, then he's going to govern himself accordingly. But I do thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilor Scales. Councilor Rafferty?
Thank you. And first, don't open this bag. Please don't open this bag until you get to the lake.
These were prunes.
It smells really, really bad. It catches the catfish, but it smells really, 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 really bad. Okay, so the fishing rodeo is this weekend, and I'm assuming everybody's ready to go. Councilor Parker, this is in your district. I'm ready for it. Okay, good, because I hate to fish by myself. Neighborhood meetings, Overton Neighborhood is canceling their meeting for this evening. Instead, they will be hosting a neighborhood cleanup on Saturday, June 6th. All volunteers are to meet at the Overton Park, located on Oak Street at 9 a.m. And after the cleanup, they'll have a neighborhood meeting at the Macedonia Baptist Church. Thursday, June 4th is Eastwood Neighborhood Meeting at Eastwood Library, 6:30 p.m. Monday, June 9th is Roebuck at Don Hawkins Recreation Center, 7 p.m. Also, Saturday, June 6th is National Trails Day, and Ruffner Mountain will be hosting a number of festivities beginning at 8:30 a.m. with refreshments available for the hikers. The festivities include meeting new rangers and letting them use you as a test run to find how to get through Ruffner Mountain. So this will be their maiden voyage, so to speak. There will also be a raffle and book signing, and admission is free, and you can register at ruffnermountain.org for the event. And I know we did this last week, but I have to say it again. Happy birthday to the mayor and Council Pro Tem Roberson. 40 years.
Not that old.
Did we just go for the low one, 42?
There's a difference of 25, I believe.
Don't forget Vulcan.
Yes,
There you
Vulcan,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, we have to throw everybody in on that. TCC is canceled due to no business before us, Councilor Abbott, so you'll be happy to hear about that. Although we will have a work session on the code. And that leads me to the next one. This weekend, I've been invited as the only municipal representative to speak at the National Conference of State Transportation Specialists. I want to thank the Public Service Commission and Judge Morris for giving me the recommendation to speak, and I'll be speaking on how to modify codes to adapt to transportation network companies and the trials and tribulations of bringing those kind of companies in. Last but not least, go Blazers. We did it. We overcame. Tonight, 4:30 at the Alumni House for all of us alumni. We do have, I believe, Dreamland Barbecue. Anyone wants to come have dinner? Coach Clark, thank you for believing in us and sticking around. And I am extremely happy to see what 2016 holds for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rafferty. Councilor Parker?
Yeah, thank you, President Pro Tem.
You're welcome.
Couple announcements. The Park Board will be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at Botanical Gardens. And so we encourage any residents and citizens to attend the Park Board meeting tomorrow. Also on Saturday, the Norwood Street Market will be starting this Saturday, and it's going through September. So we encourage those that want to come out to the Norwood Street Market. It's from 9 until, I think it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On Saturday. And also some announcements from Mr. Jenkins that the Oak Street Mail Course will be on WJLD this Sunday at 7 p.m. And also the Men of Praise will be singing June 14th at Greater Mount Carmel. Is that right? And the last one is the Men of Praise will also be performing at 6th Street Peace Baptist Church on Father's Day. Is that correct, Mr. Jenkins? Okay. All right, so that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Councilor Parker. Councilor Hoyt?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilor.
The Fairview Neighborhood Association meets today at the Church of the Fairview, Church of the Fairview, at 6 p.m. Thomas Neighborhood Association meets today at 6:30 at Mount Hebron. Our next Public Safety Committee meeting will be on the 8th. I think it's on the 8th. They got the first here at 4 o'clock. Also, the Education with a Purpose scholarship recipients will be here next Tuesday, and there will be a brief reception for them down on second floor, I think it is, of City Hall. Yes, second floor, and in a special event room. And so I'm asking all of us, the mayor included, would come and congratulate our young folk for receiving scholarships to further their education. It's going to be here in City Hall next Tuesday, the 9th, and that will be immediately after council meeting. It's going to be nice. I want to thank Ms. Langford and Ms. Jenkins and whoever else is helping her with that, getting that together for our young folk. And so I want to thank Mr. Patton and the mayor for making the provisions for that. So really appreciate that very much. And also remind you all that on the 21st, we will, for the first time, have a Man Up breakfast at the Crossplex. And so we're looking forward to that. I'm hoping that you all will come and so that we can have a great time. When men and boys are in the same room, it's something magical happens. We've had them in the past, and of course, Councilor Roberson, you've been there, and Councilor Tyson has been there. When grown men crying about experiences that they've had, Mr. Mayor, we would invite you as our special guest, but I think you will be intrigued with some of the discussions. And this year, what we're doing, Ms. Pro Tem, is adding women to our panel, because we need to hear from women what they think a man ought to be doing. And so who can best dictate that than women? And so it's going to be quite extensive and engaging in dialogue. And so I really appreciate that. Lady Wu, who is Dana Woodruff, is going to be our mistress of ceremony. She did such an excellent job last week. The mayor spoke at Miles College, did a great job on stage, as well as Councilor Tyson was there, did an outstanding job. I want to commend Mr. William Burns, who also works here at City Hall, but he's the president CEO of the Birmingham Urban League. I want to thank them also for awarding me the Economic Empowerment Award. It was a singular honor, and so I really appreciate that. My mother says if somebody does something for you, you ought to say thank you. And so I want to say thank you to the Urban League and all the young leaders with respect to that organization. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Councilors Hoyt. Councilor Abbott.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I wanted to congratulate Dr. Watts at UAB for making the right decision. I choose to believe that he did all of this to increase support for UAB football, and I think it worked. So I'm hoping we'll see much larger crowds in the stadium from now on, and it makes Dr. Watts look brilliant instead of what he looked like previously, and I congratulate him. The Joint Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be together with the Economic Development Committee meeting on Monday, June 8th at 4 p.m. in conference rooms D and E. Submissions are due on or before Wednesday, June 3rd, which is tomorrow at noon. Vulcan's 111th birthday bash is this Sunday afternoon from 12 to 4 at Vulcan. I assume, Mr. Mayor, that you'll be there to celebrate with him. Yeah, that's right, and I know Council President Pro Tem Roberson said he was going to come and celebrate with him too, and y'all can all hold hands and skip down the path together. Big hands. Yep, big hands, hard hands, cold hands. But it is this Sunday afternoon. The admission is $5, and I think that includes birthday cake. The budget hearings for the community are coming up. They're coming up really fast. The first one is this Friday in the eastern section of town, and that will be at, it says on here Christian Parkway. I think something's left off.
Yes.
I'm gonna announce it again, it changed.
Okay.
Well, what did it change to?
June 11th.
Oh, June 11th, so it's not this Friday. Okay.
No.
Well, good. That's good because Friday was a little bit soon. The first one is Monday, June 8th at 6 p.m. at New Pilgrim Baptist Church, 708 Goldwire Place. The next one is the next day, Tuesday, June 9th at 6 p.m., Bethel Baptist Church of Pratt City, 1708 Spencer Avenue. On Wednesday, June 10th at 6 p.m., Avondale Elementary School at 4000 8th Court South, and Friday, June 11th at Thursday, June 11th at Parkway Christian Fellowship. So we will be having those budget hearings for any member of the public who wishes to come and find out about the city's budget. We'll try to provide as much information as we possibly can because city budgeting is different from any other budgeting there is on earth, I think, except that you can't spend more than you take in. That's the rule. So we'll be happy to see everyone at those budget hearings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott. Before I do mine, go ahead.
Excuse me. Tonight at 6:30, the Forest Park South Avondale Neighborhood Meeting will be held, and also tonight is the first of the Avondale movies in the amphitheater. And I think that starts at 8 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. So, thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott. Before I do my announcements, I think Councilor Tyson has one brief announcement, then Councilor Scales.
Yes, Mayor Bear, when we was at the meeting with, at the press conference with Dr. Watts over at UAB, you know, he made a statement about the city of Birmingham building a stadium, and I know you didn't tell him that, but it was just it was just the way that he made the statement, and that that he's going to depend on the city of Birmingham with a stadium, and I just wanted some clarity on that.
He raised that issue with me. It's no way possible for the city to build a stadium at this time. My focal point will be on the dome facility that's there. What I have expressed is a willingness to look at what opportunities there may be for the city to support a facility. You're talking about a debt service of somewhere in the neighborhood of about $5 million a year that will be required. There may be some public-private partnerships, some joint efforts to look at an on-campus stadium, but that's to be fleshed out. I would never walk in and tell somebody, "Oh, the city's going to build you a stadium." That's not how I operate. But the subject did come up.
And also they revealed there a couple of months ago about the soccer stadium in Glen Iris. Brought it to Glen Iris last night about the soccer stadium in UAB is in District 6. So I've seen the plan for the soccer stadium and everything that they are trying to do with a lot of the athletics. And I know they just built the softball stadium is over there also, along with the baseball stadium and other things that they are doing with a big building process at UAB. On every corner, it's a building going up. And I have seen the designs. But I totally agree with you about that stadium.
Yeah. They presented plans to build a stadium with athletic training facilities and other facilities attached to it. I don't believe that was a motivating factor of them bringing football back, but it is a necessary ingredient for them to have a successful program, to have an on-campus stadium. And we'll work with them on trying to plan out how that can be developed and done. But no, the request was made for the city to build a stadium, but we don't have the resources to do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Tyson. Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Scales.
Thank you, Ms. Pro Tem. I'm actually glad that the mayor did correct that, and that's how rumors began, is actually taking a little morsel and making a mountain out of it. But I am happy that we have gotten UAB football reinstated. I think that the community is excited. I think that all of the city of Birmingham is very excited. Now, with that excitement, regardless to where they play, whether it's at Legion Field, which we have worked with them on that, or their own stadium, then maybe this will ignite us this time to not take that program for granted. Very quickly, Mr. Pro Tem, and I'm glad, Councilor Abbott, you brought that up, because I wanted to remind those persons, anyone, it doesn't matter where it's being hosted, but more importantly, I did want to make sure that people in the Eastern area knew that on June 11th, mark your calendar, save the date, is over at Parkway Christian Fellowship, which is right along Parkway East, next to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church. That's where we're going to have the budget process. And I know that individuals want to come and express themselves, and I certainly want you to do that. But this is a different kind of meeting, and everybody needs to know that. This is to basically make sure that constituents, people in our districts, know how the budget process works. So in other words, we had a budget hearing which took place last Thursday, but this is something totally different. So it's teaching you about the process, and I just want people to know what to expect when they come. So they said, hey, you know, I thought we were going to be talking about community schools or whatever they thought. Still, you can talk about that, but we want to also make sure that you understand the budget process. So again, I am making a plea to all of us that want to be involved and actively engaged in the community to make sure that you make your way. Parkway Christian Fellowship, 6 p.m. promptly. It's going from 6 to 9. I think it's going to be very interactive, and so we want to make sure you do. If you need any information, please feel free to contact my office at 254-2349. And I do want to say welcome aboard to our interns that are here with us today, and I hope, You gonna say that for the end? Okay, well then, without further ado. Yeah, I am. I just
bring 'em up.
I just said, Mr. Hart. All right, Hart. Thank you, sir, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilor Scales.
Let them introduce themselves.
I am, Councilor. Thank you. I want to move for a resolution of sympathy for the Fuller family, Mr. Charlie Fuller, a member of the Casilla Heights community who passed last Monday.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, Council, and our prayers are with the Fuller family. Your father was very well respected. After talking to some constituents in the community, he actually sold some cars to some of the first cars for some of my constituency, and we'll say this publicly. The investigation process is still moving forward with the Birmingham Police Department. Ransom of monetary award has been put up by the Crime Stoppers organization. I've put up $1,000 to help support that reward process to close this investigation. And also, in some conversations I've had recently, the governor's office is considering some type of monetary award in this investigation process. So, in talking to Regina Fuller, the daughter, the funeral will be held at 1 o'clock on this upcoming Saturday at the Bush Lawn Funeral Chapel, and our prayers continue for the Fuller family at this time. Summer camp opportunities. It's summertime for youth. Arts and crafts for 6 weeks for ages 12 and up will be at Henry Crumpton Recreation Center on Thursdays, 6 to 7:30 p.m. So if you like arts and craft, there's a 6 weeks program for ages 12 and up at the Henry Crumpton Recreational Center. Also, the RL&B Dance Academy hosting a dance mentoring program for ages 6 to 18 at Wiggins Recreation Center, Monday through Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. For more summer camp opportunities, please contact our Park and Rec office, board office, to find information out for camps and our youth in our community. Speaking of our youth, I have been in some discussions recently in Chicago with the Opportunities Nation, which is a national organization that seeks job opportunities for youth across the country. And to my young people in the back, I want you to chime in on this. But there will be a national Twitter chat that will take place with creating opportunities for youth, hashtag Millennial Monday. So that's hashtag Millennial, M-O-N, sponsored by Opportunity Nation on this upcoming Monday, June 8th at 2:00 p.m. I'm inviting all youth across the Birmingham area, our city councilors, Division of Youth Services, employers and nonprofit partners to join in this chat as we talk about how we can end youth unemployment. I think a lot of the issues and discussions related to our youth are due to them not having jobs, create revenue streams and support for them and their families. So this will be a national discussion on Twitter on this Monday, and the hashtag is Millennial, M-O-N, and we'll have a discussion with youth across the country, even here from Birmingham, about youth unemployment across our nation. As we've had some discussions this morning, and the mayor will be dealing with some issues related to crime later on in our community, I think this is one part of youth workforce development to reducing crime without our community. So I want to make that announcement. 4 o'clock today, Oakwood Place neighborhood meeting will take place at Harrison Park Rec. This Friday, June 5th, Jones Valley neighborhood meeting will take place at 4 o'clock. Next Monday, 6:00 p.m., the West End Manor neighborhood meeting will take place at New Hope Baptist Church. And at 6:30, Oxmoor Valley neighborhood will be held at Oxmoor Valley Community Center. I do want to wish two persons a happy birthday. My nephew, Tyson Aguilar, will be turning 7 years old today. And also my father-in-law, Robert Brooks Sr., who will turn 75 years old today. Thank you for your service, sir, and allow me to marry your daughter 15 years ago. And it's truly been a blessing to get to know you. Happy birthday, Dad. That being said, at this time, we'd like to recognize, you got one thing? Okay, Councilor Abbott.
Yeah, the one thing that I have is I just simply wanted to offer sympathy to Nancy Wagnon and the Donald family and the loss of Nancy's daughter, Bonner Wagnon. Most of us knew her from the Lakeshore Foundation and most recently the Cultural Alliance. And she passed away, and I know that they're hurting. So I just wanted to note that, and to also say that I got the time wrong on the movie tonight.
Okay.
It's 8:15 this evening, and the movie is Toy Story, and the pre-movie singer-songwriter event is Charlie Barrett. So I wanted to get that right so people didn't show up at the wrong time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bring your popcorn and Coke.
President?
Yes, Mayor?
Along those lines, I'd also like to issue my condolences to the Wagnon family, and also the passing of Mr. Cleophas Williams, who's the husband of Ms. Cora Williams, a longstanding neighborhood leader over in the Smithfield Estates neighborhood community. The funeral will be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Greater Shiloh Baptist Church. Reverend Wesley is the minister there, and I'm sure that if Councilor Lundy was here, he would have more comments on that as well. Just wanted to make that announcement.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I think it's appropriate to move for a resolution of sympathy for the families at this time.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Our prayers are with the Williams family, as the mayor brought to our attention, and also the Wagnon family.
And Donald, her husband's name was
Donald. Okay, thank you, Councilor Abbott, for doing that. At this time, we'll recognize our interns, so all your interns that are in the back, if you will, please come forward. And I want you to at least tell me your name, school affiliation, and how excited you are to be volunteering and interning with, not volunteering because you're getting paid.
They get paid.
Yeah, interning with the City Council office.
They're all dressed up.
We're checking their public speaking skills.
Yes, we're evaluating your public speaking skills as you announce yourself.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, my name is Julia Wilkins, and I currently graduated from Lawson State Community College, and I will be transferring to Jacksonville State University. I am absolutely excited about working with you all this summer, and thank you for this wonderful experience. I am really looking forward to this wonderful experience this summer.
Thank you.
She
Thank
gets
you.
a thumbs up. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ronald Struthers. I just graduated from Ramsey High School on my way to Tuskegee University.
All right, awesome. Got a few skiggers up here.
From this experience, I hope to gain some networking and just have an overall experience in political science.
Okay, awesome. Great.
I'm Amanda Johnson. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I go to Syracuse University.
Great.
And I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, awesome.
Welcome to the South. Oh, that's right, you're in Texas, you moved, yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Sequoia Humes. Let's see, I attend LaGrange College. I'm a nursing student, third semester nursing student, so I have another year. From this experience, I just plan to gain the business side of things.
Great, great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Christina Lawler. I attend Hoover High School. I am extremely excited about this experience, and I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to have this opportunity.
Great,
awesome.
Great.
Wow.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Kenya Cunningham. I attend Bessemer City High School. I'm going to be a senior next year.
All right.
And I would like to thank you all for the opportunity for me to have this experience this summer. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Brian Williams. I'm from Birmingham. I graduated from Spain Park High School, and I'm currently at UAB. I'm about to be a junior in the fall. Go Blazers. Glad we got the football program back, and glad everything is, back in order. Happy to be here. It's an amazing opportunity, and I appreciate everyone for allowing us to be here and giving me the chance to speak. And this kid, I actually met yesterday, and thank you for this. Good to see the mayor as well. He's also my frat brother. So
We know
what was that?
the
The pair there.
A little bit.
I can't see it. I don't know what that is. What is that? What is that?
Oh, cap outside. Cap outside. Cap.
I don't.
His understanding. Yeah, but thank you for this opportunity. It is good to be here. Good to see all of you.
Glad to have you. And thank you all for choosing the Birmingham City Council to enhance your professional endeavors moving forward. We're just glad to have each and every one of you. And to my understanding, Ms. Kidd, we actually have some more interns that will be joining us also.
Yep, we should have about
3 more?
3 more that should come in.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Well, please feel free to communicate with all council members and central staff so you can get the best experience you can possible. Thank you. We're looking forward to working with you. That being said, I want to thank officers on duty, Charles Lewis, downtown substation, and also Officer James Parson from West Precinct for protecting us today during the city council meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second. And Mr. Bentley.
Aye. This meeting's adjourned.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, do I have to